in Glenn Ross, which I think for Kieran, after he did A Real Pain, I think Matt was the only, put them. So I'm so pleased to accept this for him. It's so exciting to receive so many awards on Kieran's behalf. I think at some point it hits a ceiling and I get to keep one, and hopefully this would be it. We're so thrilled, and it was just a dream come true to get to have a front row seat to the Ages of Chaos. Thank you so much. Was getting emotional for the first time since I upped my dose of Prozac, and I'm going to call my mom after this. Thank you so much. This is like such a shock and such an honor. The Los Angeles Film Critics, Los Angeles and Film Critics are two groups that I thought would never be like me, and I'm so touched, and I think I made the mistake of thinking about the relationship between actor or now director, writer, and film critics as something antagonistic, as something to be scared of, and it certainly is intimidating and scary, but the first movie I made, which came out last year, was not well received, and I was devastated, and I took it personally, etc. But there was a running theme in the criticism that was correct, and I was writing A Real Pain while reading those very painful things, and I course corrected in a way that made this movie work well. And it's because that criticism was not personal. It was astute, and it was generous, and it was honest. And it made me appreciate film criticism in the most roundabout, unexpected way. And I'm so honored to be acknowledged here again, so as unexpectedly. Thank you so much.
This is the first award I've ever won for a movie I've designed. So I'm going to talk for a while. When I first started out as a production designer, I heard someone describe the job as creating the world the movie takes place in, and I thought that was a great description. And I started using it myself, and then I heard that term, world building, was usually applied only to fantasy and science fiction films. And I've never really understood that distinction, because every time I design a movie, I'm very cognizant of designing it a very specific world, motivated by the story and the characters. I'm a method designer, as we said. And for The Brutalist, it was more intense than usual because I had to literally become Rasoulof, not literally, but close to literally, creatively. Rasoulof is a fictional architect, but I had to make him seem real. And apparently I did a good job because people still tell me that they've looked everywhere to find out more about him. Even after they've heard a Q&A, and this is true, and where I'm talking about the design process. So, I am Rasoulof. There isn't another. Thank you for that. So we made this movie for under $10 million, and even though I find it hard to believe myself, it never felt like a strain. It felt like a creative gift. And I've thought a lot about that. When you have budget constraints, it makes a filmmaker think long and hard about what's important. When you have to work within such restrictions, because you don't have the money to do everything that you might want to do, you have to pinpoint what's essential. And your creative powers are sharpened, and everyone has to work at their height of creativity. And I know this is how Brady worked, and how I worked, and how everyone on the team of The Brutalist worked, and I think that's what makes the movie work. You can't just slap on money when something is not working and say, well, this will fix that problem, because there wasn't any extra money. So I'm proud to have worked with that team and with Brady as our leader. And I'd also like to thank my friend, Fray, who's also my agent, but he's really a dear friend of mine. My art directors, Alex Lindy and Shabalo. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to thank these people again, so that's why I'm thanking them now. My husband, Michael Taylor, my set decorator, Patricia Kucha, and most of all, my cat, Spooky, who came to Budapest, and for 5 months, I never complained.
Yeah, it's way weirder once you're up here. Thank you so much, Oliver. And I'm going to read because the first version I did was obviously way too long because I'm an editor. Okay, well, that was actually really, that hit me hard and gave me confidence to actually read what I want to read. I'm going to go really fast because I don't want to take too much time. I timed when I needed to go to the bathroom perfectly. Okay, so obviously thank you to the Los Angeles Film Critics Association for this award. Really honored to share it with Hunter, who isn't here, but who's an incredible editor. And it's really humbling to be added to the list of other editors that have been honored here, and the other incredible editors in this room. I just have to say, incredible. Okay, so then above all, I have to thank the director, writer, artist, genius, force of nature that is Ramel Ross. Anyone who's seen his incredible, beautiful, groundbreaking documentary, Hale County, this evening, knows he's already a genius editor, so I just was really, really so grateful for him to invite me to help him also shape his first narrative film. And along with that, right next to him, I have to thank co-writer and producer Jocelyn Barnes. Really, whose talent, craft, and support of Ramel's vision made the script, the prep, the production, and the edit all happen at all. Okay, so one deviation from just thanking people, which is, it's always struck me with editing that the word in some other languages like French for editing, a lot of the terms mean to join together rather than to cut. And I thought about that a lot with Nickel Boys, because not only were we joining very different types of imagery together, but the whole process really redefined what I thought of as joining things together in the making of a film. So I really feel like I'm here as a representative of the team that made Nickel Boys. It's very hard to separate who. None of it could have happened in a vacuum. So I have to say thank you to the producers, Dee Gardner and Jeremy Kleiner and Climb B, who got the film made in the first place and provided amazing support and guidance throughout. The composers, Alex Summer and Scott Ilario, of the score of Nickel Boys, I think shaped everything we did in the edit and fueled the edit. The actors, especially Ethan Marisi, Brandon Wilson, Anjani Ellis Taylor, who were more integral to the edit than any other project I've done. The cinematographer, Jomo Fray. Completely changed my whole way of understanding what cinematography is. Production designer, Nora Mendes. The sound editors, Tony Galante, Dan Timmons. My assistant editor, Nancy Galvin, and the archival researcher, Allison Brandon, and assistant researcher, Alex Westfall, who helped find all the amazing archival material. Okay, so we also had amazing support from David Levine, Chadwick Pritchard at Anonymous Content, MGM Amazon. I'm listing all these people because it's really like this project wouldn't have happened without the fearless support they had for Ramel's vision. It also wouldn't have happened, and I have to thank Colson Whitehead for his tragic and inspiring novel, which brought to life the real experiences of the students at the Dozier School for Boys in Florida, which any recognition of this film I feel like has to be mentioned, and the work we did. That school, the Dozier School, only closed in 2011, and like the characters in the book and the film, there are still survivors of the Dozier School who are seeking justice right now. So I'm very grateful to be here to accept this award, especially given recent events. friends and colleagues who have lost everything in recent fires. And I'm really grateful for the recognition of our work on a film where we're attempting to humanize victims and survivors of institutionalized racist violence in the United States. And that recognition gives me hope, despite the current actions of our recent and present governments for the end of child prisons, the end of internment, and apartheid oppression of people based on minority or economic status. And above all, hope for the day when our government is no longer supporting or creating new mass graves for children, whether it's in Florida or Palestine.
Our film has been so warmly embraced by all kinds of critics, and which really means a lot because I was trying to make a film that I would want to watch and think about what would happen, but it's a film where I'm exploring my own thoughts and emotions and feelings, and I try to kind of open myself up making this film, and the film is being embraced. It's not just, it doesn't feel like it's just about the film, it's kind of, I'm feeling embraced, so I would think, I would wish this feeling to everyone. I think that's what we all are looking for, to kind of find acceptance and support, and I feel so honored. And so this film was made with my very young and small team using free open source software. We made it in basically one room, and these films, I think there's a very bright future for independent animated films, but it's hard enough to make them, but when you actually have to put them out into the world, that's another struggle, and it's really due to organizations like this and critics and these champions like you that helps keep reaching an audience, and I'm very grateful for this, and I wish you would, and we all will continue supporting independent films and films made in places where there isn't a big film industry, and we can find that we are much more similar and different by watching these films and seeing these stories together with an audience, so I'm very grateful, and yes, thank you.
I think especially as a cinematographer, you do so much work with yourself and so much work trying to build this image to them with the hope that it's felt and that you aren't brought to the surface, that really means a lot when people see and recognize and connect to that experience. So I'm just taking a second to take that in. But, okay. First off, I want to thank you to the members of the Los Angeles Film Critics Association for this honor. You have all been incredibly supportive of this film, not only this evening, but in your thoughtful and considered words the past few months. That support has helped the film reach more and more people, and for that, I think I speak for the rest of the Nickel Boys team in saying that we can't thank you enough. I also want to comment on the destruction that led to us gathering here today at a later date. Los Angeles is one of the most vibrant cities in the world. I think people outside of it don't often consider that, or they don't understand that. They see a community on fire, and perhaps they think it's just well-to-do folks who will quickly rebuild and continue their lives. But those fires affected a wide swath of individuals. Neighborhoods like Altadena is a working-class community, and I think everyone in this room knows someone in the film industry who lost everything. I can't begin to comprehend that level of loss, so I won't stand here and seem as if I do. But I do know the power of our community, and I do know what we are capable of when we work as one. We are capable of miracles. We're capable of capturing things never before seen, and things that will never be seen again. I don't consider myself to be a deeply religious person, but it's on the set that I feel like I'm able to see what I would call God. It's on set it's on the faces of the people on the crew, that I see what we as humans are capable of when we are in confederation, what we're capable of when we're aligned towards a singular vision or intention. It's incredible to create something so much larger than yourself. And it's for that reason that no matter how many times I start, I continue to be in awe of the process of making a movie. Which is why I know, despite the devastation and the cosmic cruelty of this event, that we will regenerate and revitalize. Which is not to make small the level of loss, but it's to highlight the massive resilience and dogged determination of this industry if we band together as one now more than ever. But regarding my voice, I know this film has left me changed as a cinematographer and as an artist. What we hoped to do with this movie was to create an image, or perhaps a gateway of sorts, that invited the audience to inhabit the bodies and the souls of these boys. Is it possible to create an image that can reconstitute a life? Is there a way in which an image can bring a person back from the dead? Is it possible to create an image emotionally empathic enough that it invites the soul of the character into our bodies for them to exist there for the duration of the film? And if that could be possible, what would it mean to reconstitute the lives of the set of boys who were unjustly taken from us? Some of these large conceptual and ultimately unanswerable questions were at the heart of what we tried to do with the film Nickel Boys. Whether we succeeded or not, I'm not sure I can say, but it was a film that asked me to think differently about the nature of the image, and that exploratory process felt so rich and something I'm so grateful for. I believe to be asked to unlearn what we think we know about our craft is the greatest gift a director can give us. So I stand here so deeply grateful for Mel Ross, our director, for inviting me on this extraordinary journey. I truly had the time of my life, and spending time searching with you and the other department heads really, truly brought joy every single moment of the making of this film. So I thank you once again for this award. I thank you as well for recognizing our editor, Monsour, in whose hands these images and these, oh my God, in whose hands we trusted these images and who constructed them in such a moving and effective way, to our wonderful cast who shouldered this vision with such generosity of spirit, Ethan Parisi, Brandon Wilson, and Mohammas Taylor in particular, as Art said earlier, they really gave so much of themselves, truly every single moment of every single frame of this film. And to our producers, Dee Gardner, Jeremy Kleiner, Brad Pitt, David Levine, Jocelyn Barnes, as well as the team at Ryan Pictures, Amazon, MGM, for getting the film out in front of audiences. It's so important to have that kind of fierce and uncompromising support when you're trying to put a vision like this into the world. And finally, I want to thank my incredible wife and partner, Rosie Gilmore, with whom all things seem possible. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, what an honor. I'd like to take an opportunity to congratulate Mikey Madison. She's not here. I was really looking forward to saying it to her. Her performance, her portrayal of Annie in Anora was astonishingly brave. Her work was beautiful. And it's my great pleasure to share this with her, to share this honor with her. Now I'd like to thank Luca Street, Media Pro, who else? Studio Canal, Cornerstone, Film 4, and Thin Man Films, notably our producer, Georgina Lowe. My representatives, Untitled Management, IAG, and Independent London. Now that's out for it. And of course I wouldn't be up here without the extraordinary cast and crew of Hard Truths and Mike Lee. To say that this film has been a gift is an understatement. On February the 13th, 2023, I sat opposite Mike Lee in a very, very cold room in North London, discussing women that I knew and other women that I'd encountered in life. And we sat there chatting and laughing over copious cups of tea so we could keep warm. And that's where this journey began. And it's where all Mike Lee films' journeys begin. Sorry, I'm nervous and I don't know why. It's just the way that I get when I'm having to be me speaking. Maybe I should conjure hands, but I don't think that would work. Maybe it should be someone else. Now, working in the way that we work is a gift. The time, the attention to detail, the collaboration, being treated as a creative artist and not just an interpreter is a gift that sometimes leaves you feeling, Jesus Christ, please God, just somebody give me a script. But that, of course, is short-lived. Thank goodness. To share Mike's keen observation of life is a gift. And while working with him, you are constantly reminded that film is an art form, and as such, while making it, the focus should lie solely in the exploration and discovery and not in the result, which is a gift that gives you the freedom to delve into the nuances and the truth of your character and their world. I remember vividly standing on set when we wrapped, and I'd just been given a huge hug from Mike Lee and from Dick Pope, our wonderful DOP who sadly died last year. And I was standing looking at them like they were like a married couple, the two of them. And I thought, man, if this is the last thing I do, then that's all right. I'm good. I'm good. Now that is a gift. And not a declaration of early retirement, so it's not employment. That's actually not interest. So, Los Angeles Film Critics Association. My heartfelt thanks to you all. You have supported this film and championed this performance from day one. You have been loud and you have been just. If I may say so myself. Oh God. And Paris is not an easy watch, let's face it. She ain't. Oh God. I've been asked on several occasions what Mike wants us to take away from this film. And my immediate cheeky reaction is always to say, ask Mike. But knowing him, he wouldn't answer anyway. You see, because Mike not only collaborates with the cast and the crew, but he takes it further by wanting the audience to collaborate. I can hear him say, I'm not answering that. I mean, it's their film now. But having sat with the question for a while, what I've taken away from Hard Truths, Naked, or any number of his films is a sense that he's asking us as an audience not to look away. No matter how uncomfortable, ugly, or depressing, not to look away. Stick with it, and maybe, just maybe by doing so, we might learn something about ourselves, our society, or at the very least, the human condition. So with that said, Los Angeles Film Critics Association, thank you for not looking away.
Good evening. It's quite strange to me because I was just thinking that last year at this time, we hadn't even reached half the shooting. And I never thought that we would be finishing. Things went so fast that I keep asking myself, are you sure that this wasn't happening a few years ago?
معمولا خب الان من اینجا میبینم خیلی فیلمسازهای خیلی بزرگی سینماتوگرافی که برجسته اینجا هستن و معمولا یه رابطه خیلی عمیقی بین کارگردان و اعضای تیم همیشه وجود داره.
There are many great filmmakers here in this room, many great people of the cinema, and there's usually a very deep connection between the filmmaker and the other crew members.
و من فقط میخوام بگم که قدردان تیمی هستم که به من کمک کرد از راه دور این فیلم رو بسازیم و هم دیگه و بدون همراهی اونا کارگردانی فیلم نداشت موفق بشه.
I'm very thankful to the crew members who helped me make this film from far away, from distances. Without their cooperation, the making of this film would not have happened.
از انجمن لس آنجلس خیلی ممنونم. اینجا خیلی ممنونم. مطمئنم تیمم هم همین حس رو داره.
I'd like to thank the Los Angeles Film Critics Association. This award means a lot to me, and I'm sure that it also means a lot to my team members.
و از نام خیلی ممنونم. برای این فیلم یه راه باز کرد که امروز در امریکا دیده بشه.
And I'd like to thank Neon because they opened a path for this film so that it could be seen in the US today.
خیلی ممنونم.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's a great honor to be here. First off, I would like, of course, want to thank LAFCA for this award. It meant a lot to me, but this was first announced, and to be here together now with many friends and colleagues from the film industry just means so much to me as the city years our long journey back from last inspires. Thank you to my fellow filmmakers here tonight. Your work is awe-inspiring, and it's an honor to be in your company, and congratulations to you all. And I have to say that there's a person in this room who I know is a major part of why I'm here tonight. Maestro John Carpenter. In filmmaking, about filmmaking, with your multiple masterpieces. I had an Assault on Precinct 13 UK quad poster above my bed at 7th grade. You have taught me about rhythm. You taught me about building tension. And I am dedicated to the 2:3:9 aspect ratio because of you and Mr. So to be recognized by LAFCA means the world to me. very heartwarming. And I have to say that you're not just a group of illustrious critics, but you are also just a group of truly nice human beings. I mean that. When I heard you, yeah, you're nice people. When I went to LA and had my first real interview, my first interview for the LA Times for my film Prince of Broadway, I was probably as anxious. I know I was as anxious as I am right now. And Mark Olson, you were my experience. It was special. It's fine. Thank you. Amy Nicholson, thank you for inviting me to the karaoke party. I didn't know anybody. That's so awesome. Thank you. Jen Yamato, recently bringing me that Japanese red rocket poster back from Tokyo. That's so sweet. Kenneth Turan, in 2009, yeah. I don't know if you know this, but in 2009, Kenneth, at the Corlopi Film Festival, at the after party, I stalked you for an hour and a half. I was in the corner watching you, saying, when am I going to make my move? It felt like a 7th grade dance. And finally I did it, because I had this film, Prince of Broadway, which I essentially was distributing on my own. And I just wanted you to see it. And I approached you, and you were so kind. I was very scared, but you had a smile on your face. You actually gave me a couple of minutes. This independent filmmaker was there all alone by myself, and you said, send me your DVD. And I did. And hey, it worked. You put me in the top 10 that year. Okay, so so here we go. So I don't know how many of you know this.
Keep talking about it, Sean.
Not all of you are really I don't know how many of you know this, but I actually took a swing at film criticism back in the day. And no, I'm not referring to Letterboxd. I am Letterboxd infamous. I don't know how many of you know that. Okay, but no, at the ripe old age of 17, I had my first review printed in a very prestigious periodical. Okay, it was actually just like a letter in the comment section, but it was it was a review, and they printed it, and I couldn't believe it. February 1988, issue number 80 of Fangoria magazine. I think you guys appreciate this. I had to drive out 1,000 Oaks during all this insanity to look at my storage space and dig up this old Fangoria of mine. I was to get this, but I have it, and I took a snapshot. I'm going to actually read it to you right now because it actually is a little relevant, and you'll be able to judge me on my wonderful writing here. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I think we're ready to go here. Okay. Chuck Russell's The Blob is the first horror movie that I actually was excited and amused and frightened by in 3 years. My compliment to Mr. Russell. This film is an excellent remake. Now this is the part I'm going to have to pause and just say, we all make mistakes, right? And I was embellishing and I was being kind, okay? This film is an excellent remake which blows away The Fly. So, it's not true. And Invaders from Mars. Maybe. And is almost equal to John Carpenter's The Thing. But no way close to it. I promise you, you're on the whole. But anyway, let me continue. Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith are perfect choices for their roles. The effects are awesome. And the photography is beautiful, and the subplot, the biological warfare is great. Exploitation. I could have used the thesaurus there. Great. Oh my God. Though back then, I would actually have had to find a thesaurus. I built like a hard copy. So I hope see that. Kevin Dillon's escape from the manhole is one of the best escape scenes of all time. That scene received a standing ovation from me. All that is left to say is that the Bob deserves to be Fango's Film of the Year, hands down. And then they published my address. Okay, so there's a point to this. I'm glad they did, because about 3 or 4 months later, I received a package in the mail from Hollywood, California, and I opened it up, and it was a signed screenplay with a blog from Frank and Chuck Russell, and Frank wrote this really nice little letter thanking me for writing that review, and it said, you know, Chuck and Frank, partners in slime. I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I can't believe they, number one, saw that, and two, it just reached out to me. Like, why did these two, famous and probably very busy Hollywood filmmakers respond to my little blurb? But I have to say that 40 years later and 3 features in, I know why. I don't know any filmmaker who just makes films for themselves, except for maybe Vincent Gallo. I hear he is too. But 99% of us make our films to connect with others. And how can an artist not be moved when somebody takes their time to put into words what they think of your art, good or bad? And those who have dedicated their lives to celebrating cinema through film criticism and theory see something positive in what you've made. It means everything in the world. So thank you. And it's also never been easy for indie film to get attention, and having a critic on your side can make all the difference. These days, when not even the LA Times reviews every film that's released, we need to acknowledge how important film criticism is, especially for independent films. Otherwise, we've got a tree in the forest situation. I want to thank my incredible team. This is Samantha Kwan. My fellow producers, and we had the honor to work with a small group of truly passionate filmmakers who took $6.5 million, essentially micro budget, in today's world, and crafted a film that has found itself in the discussion of films made for literally 20 times that amount. So thanks. And I also want to thank our wonderful partners who have taken this journey with us and made this all possible. Neon, I love you guys. Thank you. Len Bassner and Film Nation, who helped us get this film off the ground. My manager, Adam Kirsch, thank you. And of course, we want to thank our home, the beautiful city of Los Angeles. Your strength and resilience, and of course your everlasting love for the cinematic arts is a constant source of inspiration. Thank you very much.